Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankum. This is going to be a fun one. We're talking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies. But yeah, so we've got a great panel here with us. Over to whatever side this is. We've got Richard. Richard, how's it going?
It's going good. Excited to be here. It's been a minute since I've actually been on here, so I'm happy to come back. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's a great actor. He's been in some great movies. I'm excited to hear from people's nominations and give my own.
Moving along, we've got Stephen. Stephen, how's it going?
It's going well. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's been acting since he was a little kid, so he's done a lot of stuff.
Moving along, we've got Anthony. Anthony, how's it going?
It's going all right. Excited to be back on here. I always love this show, so I can usually give at least one opinion that's completely wrong from everyone else. But with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I don't think I have one on this one. I think all these are well liked, but find out later.
And last but not least, I believe this is the first time I've had him on Rankin before. Is Aaron? Aaron, how's it going?
Good, yeah. For all the years we've known each other, I've never actually done the show. I've seen it a number of times. I love the concept. I love the discussion, so I'm happy to be here.
But yeah, how the show works, we go around in a circle and nominate a Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie that we think should be on the top 12. And then at the end, we rank the ones that make the shortlist, which always gets into a lot of arguing later on, but it's always fun. But first up, Richard, what is the first movie you think should be on this list?
The first one I'm going to pitch is kind of a nostalgia feel. Growing up in the 90s, I was a 90s kid. So, I loved Third Rock from the Sun as the TV show. So this was around that time, one of my favorite Disney movies, sports movies of all time, going to Angels in the Outfield. This is when Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a kid. He does a fantastic job in this movie. His chemistry with Christopher Lloyd's just fantastic. Danny Glover's in this movie is great. It's a feel-good movie. Has a lot of heart to it. This kind of showed that he could act, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, because he had some very sincere moments. So that is my first nomination. It's a feel-good movie. Deserves to be on the top 12 for sure.
Stephen, what do you say about Angels in the Outfield?
I do like the movie a lot. It was a movie that I enjoyed a lot as a kid. But he's done a lot since then, and I'm not sure I would really call this one of his best movies. So I'm gonna have to give a slight no, but if it makes it in, that'd be cool too.
Anthony, what do you say about Angels in the Outfield?
This is an absolute yes. This movie was a gem in the 90s. 90s sports movies from Disney were great, and this was one of them. He's great. Christopher Lloyd, everyone's fantastic in this movie. This movie is it's good time. It is feel good. It's great for family. It is one of those that I enjoy rewatching. I had my list. This was my number 2 on my list. This is the second one. When I talked to my wife, I was like, "Hey, I'm doing this. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt." She said, "My number 1," and then she immediately went, "He was in the Outfield." There was no in between. That was a guarantee that this was going on the list. So that's definitely a yes for me. I'm a little upset you took it from me, Richard, but it is a great call.
Aaron, what do you say about Angels in the Outfield?
So I've seen Angels in the Outfield only once. It was a very, very long time ago when I was younger. I played baseball for 2 years, and so that meant I saw a lot of baseball films in those 2 years. It did make my top 12. It was at the very bottom, but yeah, I would definitely say it deserves to be on. When we're talking about, because he is an actor that does have kind of 2 phases. He has that younger phase and that older phase. From that younger phase, there's really only 2 films that are memorable, and I think they're both great films, and this is one of them. So I absolutely would say it deserves to be in there.
Good call.
But yeah, this is just one I think I might have seen, but I don't remember if I've seen it or not. So I really wouldn't be able to confidently have said yes on it. But Stephen, what is your first nomination?
Well, this is one that might not make it in simply because I don't know if a lot of people have seen it. But I really liked The Lookout, where he is a guy who, because of a car accident, has a short-term memory loss, and he works as a teller in a bank, and these bank robbers plan on on robbing the bank, and they befriend him. And I think he's great in the movie. And it's a really good movie.
Anthony, what do you say about The Lookout?
You had to do this early. Like, come on, man. This is 12-13. Like it's like right on the edge of the list. There's two I have right behind it that I almost guarantee somebody is going to say because I think it's one of them's more popular, one of them's just a better movie. I really like this movie. I'm gonna God damn. All right. Due to the fact I've only seen it like one time, I really enjoyed it, and I have a bunch of others that I actually like more. I'm just going to say no. But like you said with Angels in the Outfield, if this makes it, I am 100% cool with that. So I'm only going to say no because you said no to Angels in the Outfield, so I'm going to be petty here. That's what I'm doing.
Aaron, what do you say about The Lookout?
I have never heard of this movie before the pitch was made, but it certainly sounds interesting. So because of that, I can't vote for it.
I'm in the same boat as Aaron. I've not heard of this movie.
I feel bad.
Richard, have you heard of The Lookout?
I have heard of it. I've seen it. First of all, you saying that Angel of the Outfield's not one of his best roles, and then you chose The Lookout? I don't know what's your acting precision. He was a better actor in Angel of the Outfield than he was in Lookout. However, I did like the movie. He did do a good job. I would say yes. It's very in the bottom of my list, but it was still a decent performance enough to make it.
I don't feel as bad now.
But that being said, Lookout's going to make the list because I introduced last week that our new rule is that if the people haven't seen it, their vote is like it's just going to not count. It's only going to count for the people who have seen the movie.
Should have more attention. All right.
I didn't know this.
Okay. I said I was fine if this made the list. It made the list, and it was basically 2-1 because two people haven't seen it. So I'm cool.
Yeah. Hey, I said last year I was going to try and find out some new rules to add in here, and I know that you haven't seen it is one that a lot of people get annoyed. Have reasons for
the rule. I think it's a good rule, Malcolm. That's a well played. Well, way to step up in 2021.
But with that, Aaron, Anthony, what is your first nomination?
All right. When you said this, there was one movie that popped in my mind, and it might. I mean, he has a ton of good movies, and there's a lot of movies that popped up, but there was one that was very, very rapid because I absolutely adore this movie. It's one of the funniest movies I have seen in forever, and it probably doesn't help that December just passed because The Night Before is an absolute gem. Every single person in that movie is incredible. From the lower level, like the Jillian Bell, Lizzie Kaplan, they're barely in it. Mindy Kaling, they're barely in it. But Joseph Gordon-Levitt, actually, he's the one that creates the heart in that movie. He's the one that everyone's there for. He creates the heart in the movie, but Seth Rogen's hilarious. And if I don't get a Mr. Green movie, I'm going to be upset because Michael Shannon is the best part of that movie. He's fantastic. But this is one that, when you said Joseph Gordon-Levitt, this is the first thing that popped in my head because this is the first movie me and Christina watch every single year. Because it is that good and that funny. So I'm going to throw that up there.
Aaron, what do you say about The Night Before?
When I was looking up Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies, I must have missed it because it wasn't on my list I put together, and it definitely should have been. I agree. I think this is a really great modern Christmas movie. I think anytime Rogen works with, I believe Jonathan Levine is the director, I think those make some of his best films, and this would be in that. And Levitt himself, he's very good in it. And the performance he gives, the friendship between these guys is completely genuine. And for that, yeah, I think it does make it. I think it's a great film.
Yeah, I'm going to make it easy. It's an easy yes for me as well. I love The Night Before. It actually came off streaming, so I couldn't actually rewatch it for this list. But I have seen it before. I do love it, so it's a yes. Richard, what would you have said about The Night Before?
I agree with everything that Anthony said about this film, except for one thing: Seth Rogen's the heart of this film, not Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But no, it's a great film. I love the Blu-ray. I think Seth Rogen is the heart of this film, but it's such a good film. Joseph Gordon-Levitt kills it. It's a hard yes for me.
And Stephen, what would you have said about The Night Before?
when I saw the movie, I was looking forward to it, but it didn't look great. Then the movie actually ended up surprising me, and it turned out to be great. So yeah, I definitely would have said yes. And yeah, Michael Shannon is actually quite hilarious in this movie.
So good. It's the best part.
But Aaron, what is your first nomination?
Okay. I'm between. You know what? I'm gonna follow it up. I just praised Jonathan Levine. I'm gonna follow it up with the other one that has two of these three guys, 50-50. I think after the first few years of Rogen's career, really just making really well made, but basically just making stoner comedies, this was the first one that really turned it and gave him an emotional piece to work with. And I think this establishes that him and Levitt are good acting partners. They can star well in a film. It's really funny. It's got a lot of great acting. It's well written. Just everything about it, I think, makes it one of the best in his filmography.
Yeah, this is one I did intend to watch for this. I just didn't have the chance because I had to study for an upcoming match, which meant that had to take precedence. But Richard, what do you say about 50-50?
This was the first film I wrote down for this movie. I knew it was going to get on this list regardless, so that's why I went with Angels Outfield first. It's a great film. Seth Rogen's great. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's fantastic. Anna Kendrick's great. Yeah. Bryce Dallas Howard is good in the role she's in for that brief amount of time. It's a great film and absolutely deserves to be in there. It's easy. It's an easily top 3 movie of Joseph Gordon-Levitt's.
Stephen, what do you say about 50-50?
I think it's a really good movie. It just barely made my top 12, so I would say yes.
And Anthony, what do you say about 50-50?
I was going to pretend like I didn't have this on my list, but that would just be a lie. This is a great movie. It really is well done, and it has it has the comedy, it has the heart, and like it's one. I feel like a lot of the movies I'm looking at on this list, you go in not expecting a lot, and you come out being like, that was really good, and I really enjoyed that. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt was fantastic. So yeah, 50-50 goes on the list. It's a great movie. It really is well done.
But with that, move on to me. And my first one's going to be a relatively recent movie. I'm going for Trial of the Chicago 7. But this is a big, this is a big ensemble movie, so everyone that was in this movie stood out in their own ways. But I really like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this. I kind of wish I got to rewatch this before so I could talk a little bit more about the specifics of it, but I haven't. But I know I love this movie. And yeah, Richard, what do you say about the Trial of the Chicago 7?
Honestly, I didn't have it on the list because I got, because the whole COVID thing, it went straight to Netflix. That didn't process mine, but it's a good film. I'm gonna say slight yes. A slight yes, even though to me it's not about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's role wasn't what was memorable about the movie. It was the other actors, the other characters that played in this film. But he does a good job, so I'm gonna say yes.
Stephen, what do you say about the Trial of the Chicago 7?
Well, it's still I have a lot of catch up for 2020 movies, but it's still my favorite movie of 2020. So, and it is a great movie, and he is really good in it. So yeah.
Anthony, what would you have said about the Trial of the Chicago 7?
You know what? This is a rare thing for me on this show. I haven't seen it yet. I know it's supposed to be amazing, and I know I always hear great things about it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. So, in a rare take for me on the take 3, I haven't seen it.
And Aaron, what would you have said about Trial of the Chicago 7?
I'm sure I'd say great things about it if I had seen it. I saw the other Joseph Gordon-Levitt Netflix film. It's fine, but it's not as good as I've heard this one is. So, yeah, but that puts it through. So,
Richard, what is your next nomination?
My next nomination is Snowden. Snowden was a film this is one of the few films where when I watched the film, it made me go to the the actual documentary of the Snowden film, because the perception of what like the media portrays Snowden, and then actually watching the film make me want to go see the documentary, gives me a whole different perspective of this character. Joseph Gordon-Levitt kills it in this role, and it's just such a good film, and I think it's very it does tell like a very accurate portrayal of Snowden.
For a second, I thought you said the snowman.
No, Snowden.
But yeah, no, when you talk about it, there's like, oh yeah, it's that one.
Yeah.
Even if first of all, if it wasn't the snowman, I don't think it would make this list. Stephen, what do you say about Snowden?
It was a movie I was really looking forward to, especially because I generally think Oliver Stone is great. But it was just okay to me. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's good in it. But I was a little underwhelmed by the movie, so I have to say no.
Anthony, what do you say about Snowden?
Kind of go with Steven. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's fantastic in it. The movie itself didn't. I mean, again, it might just be my style of movie. This didn't really hit it, so I wasn't as intrigued by it as some of these other ones that I have on my list. So for me, it would be just a no. I mean, it was one of those I saw once, and I was kind of like, I'm good. I saw it one time. I'm set. But he did a great job in it, and he definitely deserves to be brought up. I'm just not putting it. I wouldn't put it in my top 12. That's all.
And Aaron, what do you say? What would you have said about Snowden?
Yeah, I actually would say yes, because when you look through Joseph Gordon-Levitt's career, a lot of the best films he's in, he is a supporting actor, and there are very few films he leads in where you can say, like, the movies are usually on a quality enough level where his performance just adds to it. His performance makes this movie. The rest of the movie around it is fine, but I think what he is bringing to this performance and the level of intensity he brings to the character really sells everything that Oliver Stone's going for, even if all the other aspects aren't there 100%. And that's what led me to enjoy the film when I saw it. So I would agree, yes.
I haven't seen this. I saw the trailer. Was like, this looks terrible. Haven't picked up the courage to go watch the movie yet. So it doesn't end in a tie. So the yeses and nos cancel each other out. So it's not making this list. Stephen, what is your next nomination?
This next movie is, I think, probably the best 3D experience I've ever had in a movie, especially the last half hour, which is really thrilling. But I think the whole movie is great, and that's The Walk. And I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is great in the movie, even though, admittedly, the accent is a little much at first. But as you get used to it, I think he really, digs deep into his character, and it's a really transformative performance. And the last half hour, like I said, man, is for someone like me who is afraid of heights. Yeah. So yeah, The Walk is my next pick.
Anthony, what do you say about The Walk?
I did have this on my list. I enjoy this movie a lot. It is another one of those where Joseph Gordon-Levitt really owns the role. Like you said, accent is a little weird at first, but when you hear the actual guy talk, he sounds just like it. So he did a really good job with it. It's kind of like watching A Clockwork Orange. You just got to figure out how the language goes, and then you figure it out a little later in the movie. I don't know how you watch this in 3D, because hell no.
IMAX 3D too.
I love heights. I would do that if I was strapped in, but But this movie's really good. He does a really good job in it, and it really is all about him. There's barely any supporting actors that do anything in this, really. I feel like it really is his job. He owns the role. He owns the fear, the confidence, the courage, all of that. You see it in there, and it really feels like he's walking across the buildings there. So this one definitely hit it for me.
Aaron, what do you say about The Walk?
Actually, I never saw it. Just based off the trailers, over the last probably 10 years or so, Zemeckis for me has become really uninteresting, and the trailers weren't enough to get me interested, so I actually never saw it.
Yeah, this is one of those ones that you're going to hear from me quite a lot today, because when making this list, I realized it really isn't a lot of Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies I've watched. I did manage to catch a couple for the first time for this. This wasn't one of them, but sadly, it was not on any services. But so, Richard, what do you say about The Walk?
I haven't seen it, so I guess it makes the list.
So it makes it.
This makes
I
it.
will, Aaron, I will say this to you, and actually Richard too. If you both like Snowden, then I do think you would really enjoy this movie. I feel like it is a more powerful, like not powerful, but a more entertaining version of Snowden, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt really owns the role. So, if you guys haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend this for you. As long as you're okay with a really super jacked up last 30 minutes with heights, if you can survive that, you'll be all right. If you can't do it, you're going to have vertigo and you're just going to lay down. So,
I survived Welcome to Morrowind. I think I'll be all right.
Yep, you'll be good.
But with that, we go to Anthony for his next nomination.
All right, next one. There are a couple still really, really up there ones that I absolutely love him in, but I'm going to go with one that I saw the trailer, thought, this looks super stupid. This is not going to be a good movie. Watched the movie and was enthralled by it. And who thought that I could be so intrigued by Joseph Gordon-Levitt riding around the city on a bike? Because Premium Rush is a shockingly good movie. I saw the trailers and I was like, what is this? He's a messenger, like he's running around, like we're gonna get some action sequences with a bike. And then again, I guess I'm having a theme here because Michael Shannon is again fantastic in this as the villain. But Joseph Gordon-Levitt does a good job, and you really feel like there's stakes every time he's on the bike. You feel like I like the way they do it. They show the map on the screen. They show like his idea of, oh, if I go this way, this will happen. If I go this way, this will happen. If I go this way, this will happen. And it's in his mind a little bit of what's the best way for me to do this in a split second that I'm not going to die by getting hit by a car. And I appreciate that. I like the way they did it. Some of the plot was a little far-fetched and whatever, but overall, this movie I feel like should be on this list. I enjoyed it. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt was great in it. And I'm just, is there any more Michael Shannon's in? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But
Aaron, what do you say about Premium Rush?
So this is why I like this show, because this is where it becomes interesting. I think Premium Rush is perfectly fine. I think it's a solid film, but there's still a number of films left that I think are better. And for that reason, I'm going to actually say no, just because I think it's fine, but I think there's a lot of other stuff better that could make it in its place.
I don't really disagree, but I like this.
No, that's fair. It's good.
Yeah, New Zealand Netflix stopped focusing on putting Joseph Gordon-Levitt in crappy originals and put some of his other movies that I haven't seen onto Netflix. Richard, what do you say about Premium Rush?
I usually agree with Anthony, but not this time. It's an okay film. Joseph Gordon-Levitt does an okay job, but his performance as Snowden was so much better than Premium Rush, and you said no. So I'm also saying no. It's an okay performance, but Premium Rush he kind of falls flat in this film for me.
I don't disagree with you about his performance. He's better in Snowden, but
and this is what we're talking about: is performance in films, not just the quality of the film. But I also am basing majorly on the performance of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he's not that great in Premium Rush.
Good point.
I mean, this is what I like when I do actors, because everyone's got their own reasons for the moves they put on. This is the one on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen, what would you have said about Premium Rush?
I haven't seen it.
Well, you know what? I shot my shot and it got shot down, but I stick with my idea.
But Aaron, what is your next nomination?
Anthony was right about one thing, in that there are still a lot of really obvious ones. So I'm gonna go for the one that I think does balance the most on his performance, which would be 500 Days of Summer. I think this is rom-com isn't a correct term for it, but it does kind of technically fall into that genre. But I think everything about this film, I think his and Zooey Deschanel's performances are incredible. I think their chemistry is off the charts. I think the movie's incredibly well written. As somebody who watched this film and all I knew about it was, the two people are in it, and it's the first film from Mark Webb, who did a great job with the romance parts of the Amazing Spider-Man films. This is that, but to the nth degree. It's so well executed, so well done, and it is genuinely heartbreaking when you reach the end of the film, but there's that little glimmer of hope left when you move on, and I think that's a good exemplification of how life kind of works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but this film did.
Yeah, I mean, I think for all intents and purposes, I think 500 Days of Summer is a rom-com, even though the comedy itself isn't as pronounced. I know I've had this debate with many people about, is this a rom-com, is it just a romance and all that. I mean, I still argue it's a rom-com. But I know Peggy and maybe Christine will yell at me saying I'm wrong anyway. But with that being said, I love this movie. I'm saying yes. And yeah, Richard, what do you say about 500 Days of Summer?
This is tough because I'm going to only focus on Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance because Zooey Deschanel plays the same character in every movie she's in. There's no range for her, so it's the same movie she does every single time, same type of character. I think the movie's okay. However, I will say slightly yes, because Joseph Gordon-Levitt does give some really good performances on his side. But like, if I'm talking about the movie in the whole, it's really tough. But I'm going to give it a slight yes. I'm just focusing on Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance in that film with the slight yes.
Stephen, what do you say about 500 Days of Summer?
For me, it's big yes. I love the movie, and also this was pre New Girl Zooey Deschanel, so this is when I still loved her.
Wait, stop! New Girl. I freaking love New Girl. That show's amazing. All right, that's for another show. That's for another time.
Yeah.
Anthony, what would you hear about 500 Days of Summer?
I'm kind of with Richard on this one. I enjoy the movie. It's not like one of these incredible genre-defining movies that some people think make it out to be. I don't think anyone here really said that, but people like it. I enjoy it. It's not. It would have been in my top 12 though. I had it in there. It was in the bottom of the top 12, but it was definitely in the top 12 because if you're going to go with movies that are big with him and that he's good are good, but he's good in, it's in there. I won't be petty again. I will say yes to this one.
Yeah. I'm going to take a chance on one that I saw for the first time this week, which really hinges on Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance. And this is the, I think it's an Amazon Prime original. I can't remember if it's a theatrical movie or not. I'm going for 7,500. This is this really hinges on Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance. He's playing the, I think he was the co-pilot, but he ended up having to sort of stop this terrorist attack mid-flight, and just everything that he does is just so incredible. It's based on a real-life terrorist attack. It's just one of those ones that everything you see him going for, because you only ever see his perspective from the pilot, because you see sort of everywhere else in the plane via the cameras on the dashboard, and this is just one of those ones that I think is great, and I think it really brings to life and makes you feel like you're in the plane with him as this attack was going on. I loved every minute of this, so I'm going to throw it a chance and hope people have seen it. Richard, what do you say about 7,500?
Have not seen it.
Stephen, what do you say about 7,500?
I haven't seen it either.
Anthony.
Yo, this is a movie about a plane getting hijacked. Do you have any idea how horrifying that is for an air traffic controller? There is no chance I'm making it through that movie and being okay. So, no, I have not seen. I can't even watch Solid. Those things wreck me. So, I have not seen this one. Even though it looks interesting, I haven't seen it.
Aaron.
It's on my list on Amazon. I'll get there eventually. No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and as much as I want to say, because I'm the only one who's seen it, it's making the list, I'm not going to be that guy.
I was wondering if you were going to post like my show, my pick, it's in. Go.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping at least one person had seen it, so and suggested it, so I could have did that, so I could have made the list. But just because I'm the only one, that's always going to be a case of the nomination doesn't really matter. That one, but with that being said, Richard, what's your next nomination?
I'm gonna just throw this out here now before make sure this gets in here because it's one of the first movies I saw Joseph Gordon-Levitt in. 10 Things I Hate About You. It's a fantastic. It's like he's one of the main four characters. His role is not as important as the other three. However, his progression in this film, from being kind of like being in love with the popular girl to like what, screw you type of thing, and then end up getting with her. Like his performance is so good in this. Heath Ledger is amazing. Julia Stiles is great. But like, I mean, if you think going back to rewatching this movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's kind of the heart in this, because you like you've been that guy more likely. Trying to fawn over the popular girl, not being expected. So I have to get this on here. So, 90s nostalgia, great film. Whoa, I'm getting some echo on my end. So yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Stephen, what do you say about 10 Things I Hate About You?
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do love it, and it came out at a time when there were a lot of teen high school movies that were coming out, and this is probably the best of the bunch. So yes.
Anthony, what do you say about 10 Things I Hate About You?
Absolutely. This was definitely on the list. I love this movie. I think it's a great movie. My wife loves this movie. Our song at the wedding was "I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You," and I did the Heath Ledger dance. We did it together, for our first dance, because we both enjoy this movie. We watched, we studied, we got it figured out. It did not go great. But this movie's it's a lot of fun. Everything Richard says is 100% accurate, and it's got to be on the list. I mean, this is a huge one for him.
Aaron, what do you say about 10 Things I Hate About You?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Richard surmised everything the best you could have. Out of the four leads, arguably in the film, he isn't necessarily the most memorable of them. That probably would go to Heath Ledger, but he does have a great character and he performs it very well. And the film overall is really, really good. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I would have said absolute yes to 10 Things I Hate About You. I love this movie because Dad would yell at us if it doesn't make the list, and all of the above. And with that, we go to Stephen. Stephen, what's your next nomination?
Well, I'm a sucker for time travel movies, so I really love Looper, and and even though they try, I guess, to make Joseph Gordon-Levitt look like a younger Bruce Willis, and he doesn't really look like him. But that aside, I think it was a really great movie, and probably one of the last performances from Bruce Willis that really stood out as a really good job from him.
Anthony, what do you say about Looper?
Well, you stole my next one. I'm glad someone said it. Like, we're starting to get to the one. Like, we started early of just all right. Let's kind of reach a little bit, but now we're getting to ones that need to be on here. Looper needs to be on here. Yes, the makeup and the eyes were a little strange, but it worked. The movie was great. The movie was It was really well done. I enjoyed every little aspect of it, and it was another one of those movies I kind of watched. Like, this could go two ways. It could be fantastic, or it can be trash. And it was fantastic. I really liked it. I'm glad someone finally said it. And yeah, Looper's absolutely it.
Aaron, what do you say about Looper?
Yeah, I absolutely think it makes it. Yeah, obviously, the whole makeup thing aside, at least they gave it an attempt. They could have just not put them in makeup and said, yeah, they're the same person. But that aside, I think the whole cast in the film gives a great performance. I think we have to give credit to Rian Johnson for getting a good performance out of a child. I also think we have to give credit to Rian Johnson for getting the last time Bruce Willis was actually a living, breathing human on camera. Now I think he's just kind of a Hollywood machine they stick in a red box movie. No, I absolutely think it's a great film. It was third on my list. It's a really great film. Absolutely.
Wait, you're saying you didn't enjoy his cameo in Lego Movie 2, the second part?
Actually, I did. I thought that was surprisingly funny.
but yeah, I'm probably on here. I don't like Looper. I tried getting into it when I watched it for the first time last year. It just wasn't enjoyable for me. I might give it another chance later, but it just wasn't for me. Richard, what do you say about Looper?
I've only seen it once, but I still remember a lot about this movie. It's a very memorable movie. It's a good movie. The only thing I hate about it is the way he looks. His face does it kind of distracts you from the film. Just like the way they try to make him look like Bruce Willis, but everything else, it's a good film, in my opinion.
But Anthony, what is your next nomination?
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. Okay, 3 left. All right. I will. I'm going to go a little bit outside the box. There's one movie I think definitely needs to be said, but I feel like someone will say it. But there is a movie that he was in that was animated, and it was fantastic, and it does not get the credit it deserves. And Treasure Planet deserved more credit as an animated movie, I think. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. If I didn't do this today, I was probably going to go watch it because I don't think Christina's seen it. And I'm going to throw it out there. He just does a voice. I understand it's a voice, but he is the main one. And if you haven't seen Treasure Planet, it's shockingly good. It brings in the Treasure Island idea of it and just makes it in space. And it's I want to try. I want to throw it out to the world, see what happens.
Aaron, what do you say about Treasure Planet?
Yeah, because I'm also trying to put it in perspective how many spots we have left. Yeah, I would say yeah. I think Treasure Planet is an underrated film. I think if we're talking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think, especially because at that time he was really in that transition period of being a child actor going into an adult actor, and I think that related well to the character he's playing. I think it's a very interesting adaptation of Treasure Island. And I think it's unfortunately an underrated film that gets lost because the gentleman who directed it directed some of Disney's absolute classics, both in the 90s and modern. Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Moana, and for some reason Hercules even gets more love than this film. And I think it is incredibly underrated. Yeah, I'm going to say yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving Treasure Planet a hard no.
Hard no.
This is another one that I actually watched this the other day because it's one that I thought I had never seen, but have seen it once and just thought I'd watch. Turns out, but I really thought it was fine. But to me, it's fine. I mean, there was one other anime movie he was in, but I haven't got a chance of watching that Ghibli movie yet. So yeah, because it was also a voice.
The Wind Rises, right?
Yeah. But Richard, what do you say about Treasure Planet?
See, I really like it. Is Treasure Planet? It's very underrated. The only problem I have against it is it's a forgettable animated movie. That's why it's so underrated. It's so forgettable because Titan AE is a thing. Atlantis is a thing. They all kind of envelop in that world. However, I like the movie. It's a yes for me. Joseph Levitt. It's a good film. It's absolutely yes.
And Treasure Planet is loads better than Atlantis.
And both are better than Titan AE.
Yeah.
I like Titan AE.
I haven't seen Titan AE, so I can't judge that one. But Stephen, what would you have seen about Treasure Planet?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
No, so
Yeah.
It makes the list. Then we're on to Aaron for his next nomination.
All right. Can I just point out the irony that Malcolm pitched something none of us had seen and chose to take it off the list, and the one movie I think he's hated got on the list? That's just funny.
Welcome to the show. This happens a lot.
All right. I'm between two. One of them I feel like is so obvious someone's going to say it before we reach the final one. I know, but the other one I really love. So I'm going to go for Don John. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt's only directorial feature. I think he does an incredible job directing it. I think his performance and Scarlett Johansson's performance are very good in the film. And I also think it's interesting that for a directorial debut that you're starring in, he would put himself in what is truly a very vulnerable position for that character, being someone who is a pornography and sex addict. I think that's such a really interesting choice from an artistic perspective, that that's what you want to portray with your directorial debut, and that's where you kind of want to cut your teeth. And I think he did a really good job on it. It's not his best film, obviously, and I think if he ever did direct again, he could get a better film. But I think for the effort he put into it from that standpoint, I think it does deserve to be on the list.
I mean, you're right about one thing. It's not his best movie. It's his absolute worst movie out of the 14 I've seen. Richard, what do you say about Don John?
I haven't seen it because I saw the trailer and I have no interest in seeing it. I still am not going to go see it. Sorry, I haven't seen it though. So it could be a great film, but I'm not going to go watch it.
All right,
Steven.
So I actually haven't brought my favorite movie of his up yet, but since that probably won't make it in, even if I do bring it up, I'll say yes to Don John.
Anthony.
Oh crap! That means it's up to me, doesn't it?
Yes.
I really wish it wasn't, because I don't think it's a great movie. But the only reason I would put this in the top 12 is because he is not only the star, like Aaron said, he's the director. He did a lot with this movie. I absolutely don't understand it. The end, I would stick with Scarlett Johansson over Julianne Moore every day. I don't care what the personalities are at that point. It really, I don't. I have like a few in here, but I kind of only have one more that absolutely desperately needs to be on this list. And if it's not, we did something wrong.
Yeah, right.
This is probably going to be in the bottom. The other two, not so much. Please don't eat that. I'll say yes, because I do enjoy it, and he did direct it, and all the above.
I believe he also wrote it, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
You clearly know a lot more about directors and stuff, so I'm going to go with you.
All right, we got one spot left. I'm hoping this is the one that falls it, because Jacoby will be upset if we don't bring this one up. I'm bringing up his appearance in the movie Brick. This is such a great movie. It's as Jacoby would say, it's a teenage film noir movie. This is just a really fun movie. This is his first movie he's done with Ryan Johnson, and I just think it's a really solid movie. So yeah, Richard, what do you say about Brick?
Haven't seen it.
Steven.
I found this movie to be pretty overrated, actually. I like the idea of transplanting a film noir 1940s style mystery into a modern high school setting. I think that's kind of cool. But I think most of the actors kind of struggle with the dialogue, and it felt to me almost like his play acting than an actual movie.
Anthony, what do you say about Brick?
This is another one. I actually have not seen it, and I've been looking for it since Jacoby mentioned it the other day. And I found it interesting. I became very intrigued, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I honestly didn't know it was a thing until he mentioned it, and then I was like, "Ooh, sounds fun."
And Aaron, what do you say about Brick?
All right, so full disclosure, it did make my top 12, but it was in that 10 to 12 range. And I do think it's a solid film. I think it's a good performance from Levitt. I think it's a solid directorial debut, I believe, for Rian Johnson. But even if the one I think is obvious doesn't make it, I think there are a number of better films than it, and so for that reason, I'm gonna have to say no.
But Richard, what movie are you going to bring up?
Okay, so all of my nominations to this point have been based on Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance. This one's just gonna be just based on the movie because his performance in this film wasn't as memorable, but it's such a good film. I'm bringing it up anyway. Inception.
That's the one.
Leonardo DiCaprio is great in this. Ellen Page is great. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's okay. He's not very memorable in this film, but the film itself is so good. I think it just has to be in here anyway. I mean, he does an okay job, good job, decent job. Better, I think, probably a better job than Don John, in my opinion, even though I haven't seen it. But yeah, that's my nomination. It's just still just very sad Snowden didn't get in. So.
Stephen, what do you say about Inception?
Well, since my favorite movie of his probably wouldn't have made it in anyways, which is the other Christopher Nolan movie he's done, I'll say yes to Inception.
Anthony, what do you say about Inception?
Yeah, this was the other obvious one, but
yeah,
made it. This one, I mean, the movie's really good. I enjoy it. Christopher Nolan makes me watch movies about 15 times before I even know what's happening. But like Steven just said, this is better than the other one he's in, and he has a better role. Plus, I mean, say what you want, he's not in it as much. He might not be the main person. He does have the most memorable scene from this movie in the hallway. If you think of Inception, what's one of the first things you think of? That hallway turning. So this. I mean, obviously, we're just playing games here. That this came up last, but
right.
More fun that way. So, yes,
I didn't say Inception. I thought Inception was better. Just that this one has a much better chance of making it in than the other one.
Yeah.
Aaron, what do you say about Inception?
This was the one that I was debating between this and Don John. I think it's the best film in his filmography. I don't think he's the best performance in it, but I actually give him a little more credit in this because to me, he does have the most memorable sequence with the turning hallway in the hotel. But also, I think the chemistry between him and Tom Hardy with that almost I don't want to say drunken goofball, but that drunken goofball kind of straight man playing off each other, I think is also a very memorable part of this film, and I think they both do a good job with that. But yeah, this is an incredible film, well acted, well written, well thought out for the conception, and despite the fact that I liked this movie, it is everything that Tenet wanted to be.
And you picked Don John over Inception?
Well, because I knew somebody was bound to bring this up. If it didn't make the list, we should be banned from the internet. So I went for it.
I mean,
that's the guy who nominated Tom John. I'm sorry.
I mean,
you haven't seen it.
I mean,
I saw the trailer. That's enough.
I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. There's been lists before, but there's been an obvious one. No one's mentioned. It's like, oh yeah, it's going to all come up. And they end up being left off the list.
Well, we didn't fail today, boys. Great job.
We've gotten yelled at the internet on this show multiple times.
But anyway, Inception is the last one to make this. I would have suggested two. It's a good movie. But yeah, Richard, what did you say about Inception?
I'm the one who brought it up, so that's.
He's actually
see, it's that unanimous.
I'm changing my mind. I'm saying no. Okay.
But anyway, gonna go to honorable mentions before we do the voting. Stephen, do you have any honorable mentions?
Well, I mean, my favorite movie of his is The Dark Knight Rises, but like I said, I know I'm in the minority in that, so I never brought it up. And let's see, the only other one really G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra is a guilty pleasure. And the only other movie, oh yeah, he's also a part of the ensemble for Lincoln, and that's a great movie. Uh, and he's only in it for like the first 5 minutes, plus his death occurs off screen. But I did enjoy Halloween H2O.
Yeah.
And Halloween H2O, another movie with numbers in the title.
Yeah, it's freaky now. I don't like it.
Anthony, do you have any honorable mentions?
I did, but he said them both. Lincoln was one. Lincoln was the main one. That was kind of the one I would have put right at 12 or something because he's just not in a lot. But the movie is really, really good. It's just, my God, I saw it once. It's very long, and now I'm good. The Dark Knight Rises was kind of on there because I like his character in it.
Mhm.
The movie itself left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. But he was still, I enjoyed him in it, and I would actually love to see him as a Robin or a Nightwing or something. But we're probably not going to get that. So leave that to the side.
Aaron, did you have any honorable mentions?
I was gonna say, out of the 12 I put together, 7 made it. I had The Dark Knight Rises, Project Power. I thought was solid, so I put it in there. Lincoln, obviously, Brick, as aforementioned, and I put GI Joe: The Rise of Cobra at 12 because he's just so damn goofy in the movie that it's like, just throw it on there.
But yeah, for me, I was debating between bringing up Brick or The Dark Knight Rises. I absolutely love Dark Knight Rises. I think all three of that trilogy is great.
I don't
And
remember
another one
you not liking it.
I don't think I ever said that. I draw. You might be mistaken with someone else. I enjoy Dark Knight Rises. I've said that before. But anyway, the other one that I was considering bringing up, but then it's like, well, he's only credited as student number 2, and that's Beethoven. I really enjoyed that.
I'm with you though. I saw that. I was like, do I do this? No.
I was gonna say, I didn't know if cameos were allowed. I consider bringing up The Last Jedi just to troll, because I actually do like that movie, but he's like in it for a second.
I would have. If there's cameos, Knives Out would have been number 1.
Knives Out for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, on my personal list on Letterboxd, I've not. I mean, it's one of those ones I specifically didn't say don't bring up cameos because, like, just want to see if they come up naturally. But yeah,
don't.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones with Beethoven. Like on Wikipedia, on some people's filmographies, will go cameo, uncredited cameo. It didn't actually say that for Beethoven. Like it was a role that he was in the credits for, which is, I don't know how much time. I actually don't remember him in the movie yet, but anyway.
Well, he's also credited being in A River Runs Through It, and I don't remember him in that, and I love that movie, but that's why I didn't bring it up.
But yeah, before we get on talking about Beethoven a lot more, maybe I'll do a franchise thing of rank the Beethoven movies. The first one will probably still end up being at number 1. But,
Airbud. Do Airbud movies.
And for the record, I had no more nominations. Dark Knight Rises, he was very bland in that. The only other one I've seen that he was in was Sin City 2, and that wasn't a good film, and I don't remember him. I don't remember him in that film anyway. So,
but yeah, and Leo's thrown a few honorable mentions in the chat. He Holy Matrimony, where he played a 12-year-old Hutterite who ends up being married to Patricia Arquette. Mysterious
I
Skin.
do remember that movie a little bit.
Hesher, he also mentioned Halloween H2O, The Juror, Stop Loss, and he actually also brought up Sin City and Danger Kill for.
I just don't remember him in that film, and it wasn't that great of a film anyway.
I mean, he was only in one of the small segments of it. There's one that I was considering bringing up, like, well, because he was only a small part of that, I'm not going to. But anyway,
for like the Clive Owen role, sort of.
But anyway, Richard, what do you have for number 12?
Oh, Don John for sure.
Stephen, what do you have for number 12?
Well, I like Don John, but yeah, I have it at 12.
And Anthony.
I went The Lookout.
And Aaron.
in the spirit of honesty, I forgot about the writing portion, but I would have put the lookout.
Which
Let me
means
get that.
I might have one of those, which I definitely do because Don John is trash.
Damn it. That's fair. I won. It made it.
There you go.
There.
I mean, it's probably going to be one of those ones that's like, why the hell did that make the list?
You all said no to Premium Rush. That's why it made the list.
No, because they say no to Snowden. That's why he made the list.
Also that. I can take blame for that.
Either way, I say thank you.
It's because no one brought up the Dark Knight Rises.
Well,
And also the fact that I hadn't seen Don John. Should have just said no. I could have lied. Dang it.
you and
Thank you
your
for being an honest person.
How dare you?
I mean, I think even if you'd said no, I think there's still 3 yeses.
Yeah.
Um, Steve,
I wasn't the only one who said yes. It's not like
Steve, what do you have for 11?
I will go with Angels in the Outfield.
Anthony,
Look out.
Aaron,
the lookout.
Treasure Planet, Richard,
The Lookout.
I got this. All right. I have like a top 4 and then like a middle 4, but I don't know what order to put any of them in at this point.
I'm going for this one because I haven't seen this one yet, so that's why it's on my list.
I feel like I'm going to do the same, but I don't want to. Okay, I'm good.
Anthony, what do you have for 10?
Look, this is not the one most people are going to have, but I want 500 Days of Summer. It's fine.
And Aaron,
I just wrote The Walk.
I Treasure Planet. Richard,
I also have The Walk because I haven't seen it.
and Stephen.
50-50.
Ooh.
The Walk is going to be 10.
I get that.
Oh, wait.
Aaron, what do you have for 9?
Only because I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's better than this. Trial of the Chicago 7.
I've got Treasure Planet. Richard,
500 Days of Summer.
Stephen,
Angels in the Outfield.
and Anthony.
I didn't erase anything. 500 Days of Summer.
I think 500 Days of Summer had the most, so
Yeah.
sadly that is going to be 9.
Did. All right. All right, dude. There we go. Okay.
But I've lost track of where we were, so I've got Treasure Planet.
Yep.
Richard,
I also went with Treasure Planet.
Stephen,
I'm going to keep going back and forth between these two because the others I think are all great. These are good. And I haven't seen Treasure Planet. So, Angels in the Outfield.
Anthony,
Malcolm, you can erase your board. Treasure Planet.
Aaron,
I actually have changed my approach. If I keep voting for Chicago 7, my opinion will mean nothing all night. So I went with Angels in the Outfield. I just accept that one's going to be high, even if I haven't seen it. That takes me out of it.
I mean, it's why I choose to sort of. I don't vote for the ones I've never seen just because I haven't seen them, so I can't really say that they don't belong here.
I didn't feel bad about the others. You voted Don John last, but. Oh God! All right.
I think I have my order, depending on who's picking it up.
But for my calculation, Joseph Gordon-Levitt has been in 6 movies with numbers in the title, and I think they all came up today. Richard, what do you have for 7?
I have Looper.
Ooh.
Stephen.
I'll go with 50-50. Although I guess Angels in the Outfield is the more likely one too.
Anthony, what do you have?
Literally everything to do with me not seeing it yet, but that's also why I kept it in here for so long, because I heard it was really good. Trials of Chicago 7.
Aaron.
Angels in the Outfield.
I've also got Looper.
What?
Oh shit!
So Anthony, Looper or Trials of Chicago 7?
No,
it's Looper.
Looper or Angels in the Outfield?
No, it's Looper, isn't it? Because it's 2 for Looper. He had 50-50.
Yeah, he changed it. He wrote 50-50.
Oh, right.
So it's Looper.
Oh, I was like, good. Don't make me pick. I mean, I kind of knew which one I was going to pick, but still, don't make me pick.
I wish now I had stuck with Angels in the Outfield.
Would have given us a shot. Okay.
All right.
This can go.
Just to recap what was left, we've got Angels in the Outfield. The night before, 50-50, Trial of Chicago 7. 10 Things I Hate About You, and Inception.
This is getting tough.
Yeah, it is.
That's where the fun begins.
This is not like time I had to yell at Malcolm for keeping Tropic Thunder on there from 12 to 2.
I stand by that. It's my least
favorite. I stand by everything I said to you that day.
Oh, I was in that one. Tropic Thunder. I was in that one.
But anyway, Stephen, what do you have for at 6?
Angels in the Outfield.
Anthony.
I still haven't seen it, so.
Aaron.
Angels in the Outfield.
It's my personal number 1, but because it's an ensemble movie, he really doesn't have that much to do in it. I put Trials of Chicago 7. Richard.
Trial of the Chicago 7.
Right.
I mean, I have to see this movie, but
yeah, no, I've heard it's incredible, but
you guys are hating on Angels in the Outfield. It's such good.
I understand. I'm keeping this bad boy in. All right, what are we doing?
Okay.
See, now I've seen everything though, so I can only give honest opinion.
All right, I'm having a little issue here. Now I'm getting iffy.
Yeah.
Crap.
To be fair, 4 of my top 5 when I listed are still here, so I feel good anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel fine about this.
All right. Aaron, what do you have for number 5?
Angels in the Outfield.
I put The Night Before. Richard.
I can understand Angel Outfield's going out, but I'm going for the quality of his role. I went with Inception. The movie's great. His performance, not as great.
Stephen.
Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
Anthony.
I thought you were going to switch back to 50-50. How is Angels in the Outfield calling? Come on. So good.
It's top 5 easily, so.
It's in the top 5.
Yeah.
My
But
question
I'm
is,
also you guys are choosing what's the better film, not his better role.
We're all doing this differently.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's always the case when it comes down to any ranking about the actor's filmography. Is like everyone's got their own reasons for sort of putting them on the list.
It's a valid. It's valid. It's heartbreaking having.
I have no idea why I erased my board.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
Richard,
because you were wrong. That's why.
what do you have for?
Inception.
Stephen,
50-50.
Anthony,
You know, Richard kind of got me on that of just going with actually how they do. I went Inception.
Aaron,
The Night Before.
You.
the night before.
It's top 4. Oh, so it
Um,
comes down to
Stephen, the night before, or Inception.
Yo, this is brutal. This is a brutal pick.
Well, I think he has more to do in The Night Before, so I'll go with Inception.
fair enough.
Wait,
And
oh,
Angels in the Outfield, the night before, and 50-50.
all right.
No. Angels in the Outfield was number 5.
No, the night before Looper. Wait. Yeah, hold on.
Night before 50-50. Added
10
Night
Things I
Before-
Hate
10
About
Things
You.
I Hate About You.
and 10 Things I Hate About You is what yeah.
I feel like we're. Yeah, I think I'm. Wait, yeah, 3. No, that doesn't.
3, 2, 1. Yep.
I put 4 left.
Yep. The Night
Uh,
Before, 10 Things, and 50-50.
And we didn't do Looper yet.
Yeah, Looper's lower
Looper
on
No.
the list.
number 7.
Oh,
we
it
did.
is?
Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with all of you? Oh man,
I didn't vote for it.
Sorry, I totally thought that was still here because what? All right, my bad. Pay attention, everyone.
But that being said, Anthony, what do you have for number 3?
Well, I didn't write Looper. Compared to thought. I'm 50-50 now.
Aaron,
The Night Before.
the night before. Richard,
The Night Before.
Ah, come on.
Stephen,
Oh, it doesn't matter now, but I went with 50-50.
and
Really
this time
funny.
instead of putting your number 2, but they're going straight to number 1 because the other one is number 2 by default. And it's between 50-50 and 10 Things I Hate About You.
This is tough. Do I go with the better movie or with his better role?
Whatever your metric.
Whatever makes you happy. That's the key. Be happy with your decision.
Either way, Anthony seems annoyed, so don't worry about him.
I'm not annoyed. I think I'm annoyed at myself for not really knowing what's happening. That's my bad. So that's my annoyance.
But yeah, this one's easy for me because only one of these I've actually seen. 10 Things I Hate About You. Richard.
Look, I love 50-50, but nothing's going to be 10 Things I Hate About You.
Stephen.
I decided to go with the better movie. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Anthony.
Man, you know my wife, so I picked 10 Things I Hate About You.
Aaron.
I'll die on the hill. 50-50. Either way.
It's a great movie, so it's not wrong.
I always want to be like Snowden, just for the sake of
Just a troll. Premium Rush. Oh.
It should be.
You mean Paperboy, the movie? Sorry,
Yeah,
no.
let's bring it back. Oh, it makes it so much better. If you didn't play Paperboy as a kid, you're lying.
I did play Paperboy.
You're lying. So this movie's great. Get
No,
some bugs out there, get some like random fire
I
hydrants.
would rather have it been called Paperboy the movie, even though it had nothing to do with paper routes.
Yeah, I would watch the hell out of Paperboy the movie.
So would I.
But anyway, just to recap our top 12. Somehow Don John made it on the list at 12. At 11, at 11, The Lookout. At 10, The Walk. At 9, 500 Days of Summer. At 8, Treasure Planet. At 7, Looper. At 6, Trial of the Chicago 7. At 5, Angels in the Outfield. At 4, Inception. At 3, The Night Before. At 2, 50-50. And number 1 is 10 Things I Hate About You. I just can't get my eyes off that movie.
I'll give you a golf clap. That's all you're getting for that.
But that brings us to the end of another episode of Rankum. I'll have a poll on the Take 3 Facebook page with the 5 options for next week. But with that, Richard, do you have anything you want to plug?
You can find me on Facebook under Richard Schwartz, YouTube and Twitter under External Void. And I just realized there kind of was a Paperboy the movie. It was called The Paper Brigade. Paper Brigade, Disney Channel original movie. This is back in the day. But it's fun.
All right.
But Stephen, where can people find you online?
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Letterboxd. Letterboxd. My Letterboxd name is SShepherd82.
Anthony, where can people find you online?
Literally everywhere. I'm all over the place. I have a letterbox doing the feature presentation 52-week challenge. If you haven't started, you should try doing that. I'm writing all the ones that I watch and that Christina watches on there. Obviously on feature presentations on TMG, but he'll explain a lot more about TMG. And also opening night trivia league. We're kind of getting into a more of a rookie thing, so we're getting a lot of those matches going. And I have my own show on there called Working Title, where you come on to pitch a movie. I give you a couple things that you need to do in your pitch. Come on, you give me a pitch, you give me a cast, you give me directors, and you fight the other person. I know Richard's done it before, did a great. I think Richard and Malcolm did it against each other, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And that was fantastic. So it's a lot of fun. It requires no skill, and it requires me to judge you, which means nothing because you saw the movies I picked. My judgment is trash. So that's pretty much it. You'll find me everywhere else. I'm always on here too. So.
And Aaron, where can people find you online?
Yeah, mainly you guys can find me on TMG Entertainment. We have TMG Trivia over there, which a number of these guys have competed in previously. We're currently airing our Geek Tournament, which is exciting as we're working our way through that. And if you'll allow me to indulge myself for just a second, as Anthony referenced, he is on our channel on one of our shows. And tomorrow on our page, we will be announcing another brand new show that'll be airing beginning Monday. I'm not going to say here. I'm going to save it for that. But if you guys aren't a part of our Facebook pages or subscribed, we would appreciate it. We're working to bring some new shows and content, and we're excited about what's coming. But thank you. And again, because I just plugged everything I had, Malcolm, thank you for having me on. I've known you for a long time, fan of the show. It's nice to finally be on it.
Yep. And you can find me on Tape 3 Productions, where I host Late Night Tape 3. It will come back at some stage. At the moment, the Schmodown's taking up the Friday, so I don't want to go up against it.
Not going to win that battle.
Well, I mean, it's because the things that they've been doing has been around the time we would start the show. Like the matches when they usually drop earlier. But anyway, you can find me hosting Rankin, which will be whatever topic comes up next week on the poll. You can find me over on Full Metal as well, where I host Full Metal Random. This week, you'll find Jonathan Caro taking on Dan Skip Allen in Martin Scorsese movies. And Full Metal Classic will be back, not tomorrow, but it will be coming back the week after. I actually was going to bring it back this week. I forgot to do the sign-up post and realised it's probably too late to do it now.
No, it's not. Just pick me. I'll do it.
What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4.
But also at the end of the month, hopefully, maybe we'll have the Full Metal Snowball event. Which will have a bunch of title matches, Full Metal Classic Championship matches with a lot of people that got wins last year. And we've recorded 2 of them. It's so great, some great matches there. But that being said, from all of us here, and we're going out of here. And just remember, Gordon Levitt has been in 6 movies with numbers in the title.